Hello, BookTube, and welcome back to another one of these Irish Stew videos where I talk about whatever's on my mind, whatever happens to be in the news that's capturing my eye or online. And we will start with the world, and then we'll move on to the United States, my own country, and then YouTube, broader YouTube, and then specifically BookTube, and then we'll end with me. We'll end with the most important subject of all. And in the world, once again, for the world, we are going outside the world. Because I don't know how many of you religiously listen to these particular videos of mine, but I have mentioned to you an object. 3-eye Atlas. An object that has been observed entering our solar system from outside the ecliptic. So this is not part of the debris that was thrown off from our star. This is not part of the asteroid belt. This is not part of the Kuiper belt or the Oort cloud. This is coming from outside our galaxy. It's the third such object that we have seen and measured, and hence it's called 3-eye Atlas. It's large. It's as big as Manhattan. And it has not been behaving normally. The normal way that we don't really have a complete index of knowing what normal would be, since there have only been 3 of these things that we've measured. But as far as things that move around in our own galaxy, in our own solar system, it is not behaving normally. Now, you only have to say that much to get some science YouTubers to jump right down your throat boots first. But that is simply true. It is not behaving normally. I know that you've got a whole bunch of people on one side saying, look, it's behaving completely normally, shut up, there's nothing wrong here, there's nothing to see. And on the other end, you've got people saying, well, I've known all along that it was Vishnu coming on his chariot. But in the middle, factually, simply ontologically, factually, it is not behaving in a normal way. Which has led some people to speculate that it is not a natural object. I don't want Professor Dave making a 2-hour-long video about me, but that is at least supportable. And recently, 3-eye Atlas has been in the news because it has appeared recently to be slowing down in a way that it absolutely shouldn't be doing if it is approaching the center of the gravity well of the sun. That's all I'm saying, is that this thing is not behaving normally. Now, the proponents of strict nothing to see here will say, we don't have a full index of what normal is because we don't have enough of these things to observe. I think that's not true. I think that there's a strong possibility that 3-eye Atlas is not a natural phenomenon, which would be, if true, the single biggest story ever of any kind at all. Even if it's not under direct guidance by somebody else, even if it doesn't have beings on it or in it, even if it's just sent here, that would still be the biggest story of all time. Story, in fact, is too small a word for it. But we don't know that. All we know is we don't know what this thing is, and I don't think that the astronomical community can any longer predict what it will do, which is in itself noteworthy. So I thought I would start with that for the world. Then for the U.S., for my own country, we can pass over this very quickly. I just wanted to note, just for whatever record may be, and there won't be any record in the United States. There will be records outside the United States, that Donald Trump has killed 4 more people in the Caribbean that we know of. He has killed 4 more people. Lying to the world that they are drug runners, that they are narco-terrorists. They most certainly are not. Not only because he says it, and literally everything he says is a lie, which is mind-boggling to me. I have hated my share of politicians and public figures in my lifetime, but I have never known one where literally every word they said was a lie. Not just a public pronouncement, but anything, ever, even on a hot mic, that literally everything they say is a lie. I've never known that before at all. That, to me, is a new phenomenon. So it's not just that because he says they were narco-terrorists, that means they weren't. It's also that you can tell just by looking at the footage that the U.S. Defense Department has put out that they weren't. So it's murder. It's just plain murder. And I don't, off the top of my head, remember what this total is. Of course, Donald Trump will never be held accountable for this. But Donald Trump isn't the one actually operating the drones. And those men who are operating those drones, and also their superior, including the Secretary of Defense, are not immune. And these are not only war crimes, they are plain and simple murder. This is just murder. Recreational murder at this point. I would like to think that there would be some future world in which there would be law, in which there would be the rule of law. I say, of course, Donald Trump has immunity and cannot be prosecuted for these things, but according to the Trump court's own ruling, he does not have immunity from committing murder. No one does. No one can. So it's not going to happen, but it's nice to think about a world in which he himself personally would suffer for this, because these orders are coming personally from him. Kill these people. We're just going to kill them. So that's the U.S. news. There's plenty of other things going on here in the U.S., but that is the thing that jumped out to me, is that we have the United States. Donald Trump has killed 4 more people, 4 more innocent people who were just destroyed out of simple bloodlust. I assume it's simple bloodlust. It's certainly not to protect the United States. These were not narco-terrorists. But anyway, then we move on to broader YouTube. And broader YouTube, I have a lot to talk to you about this time around. Like, for instance, there's a channel called Gutsick Gibbon. I don't know how many of you know this channel. I have mentioned it from time to time. It's a science channel, a really good science channel. The young woman who hosts the channel, Erica, is a paleo-scientist getting her advanced degree. She knows exactly what she's talking about. And her educational videos are wonderful, where she gets down to the nitty-gritty of what we can reconstitute of Paleolithic hominid biology and behavior. But a fan favorite on her channel is when she bashes creationists. And she just recently did a video where she does that for a long time. Erica does not make short videos. She does that for a long time, bashing the current crop of creationists. And if you're outside of the United States and you think, well, isn't that, swinging at low-hanging fruit? You are wrong. Young Earth, science-denying creationists run my country at every level. State, local, and federal. Young Earth, science-denying creationists. I'm not talking just about Christians. I'm not even talking about fundamentalist Christians. I'm talking about a particular brand of Christian that does not believe in science. They now have permission from their fascist government never to vaccinate their children or themselves against anything at all. Never any vaccinations of any kind. Which means that in 4 years, 2 years, this country of mine is going to be a sinkhole of previously exterminated 19th century diseases. And those things don't care whether or not you stay away from the person who's denying the science. So they're going to bring us all down. They don't believe in geology. They don't believe in radiation. They don't believe that the Earth is round. They believe the Earth is about 6,000 years old and was created by magic and is still thoroughly inhabited by magic. Once upon a time, those people were in a few parishes in the South, in the deep South here in the United States. Now they're everywhere. Now they run the country, and they are the biggest entertainers, the biggest media figures. Candace Owens just thinks that dinosaurs are fake and gay. She doesn't believe there were dinosaurs. She believes in a 6,000-year-old Earth created by magic that is flat. Tucker Carlson doesn't believe in evolution by means of natural selection, and if you push him, will say that he doesn't believe the Earth is round. Both of them, I'm sure, believe that the moon landings were faked. They are the kind of young Earth creationists that Gutsick Gibbon tends to go after. And her latest video is a symphony of that. It's an undertaking. I think she is so well educated on her subject that I think she sometimes forgets how far ahead of the rest of us she is. So you can set it down there on the tablet and listen to it, but there are going to be places where the water gets pretty deep. So I thought I'd mention that. It's a joy, always a joy when she uploads a long video. Then there's Janet Wertman, my would-be partner in crime from Too Much Tutor, who did a video just recently noting that this would once upon a time have been the end of Preptober. We're at the end of October, and once upon a time when NaNoWriMo was up and flourishing and was not actively telling people to let machines do their own writing for them, all of us who participate in NaNoWriMo, National Novel Writing Month in November, would be using October to prepare and get ready. Now, Janet in this video talks about, some of the things that she does to get ready for what she's doing in November, which is writing 50,000 words, regardless of whether or not there's an event. But the presence of a unifying event meant a lot. Certainly it did to me. I think it did to her as well, and to thousands and thousands and thousands of other people. And that community of people has been flailing around looking for some sort of ready-made substitute for NaNoWriMo. I don't think there will be one because NaNoWriMo was not ready-made. NaNoWriMo took years to evolve into the institution that it was. Janet and I would like to create such an institution where all the cool nerds could come together and do their writing. And we've been batting back and forth ideas. We haven't been able to settle on anything. Her latest one, I need to get back to her about it, was pretty good. Which is to use the tools to hand, in other words, YouTube. But I don't know, there are plenty of others. There's NaNoWriMo itself, I think by name, is still going on. There's also Nano 2.0. There's Write-tober or Write-tember, something like that. A whole bunch of other things. Probably you know a dozen that I don't know. And she talks about that in her video. It got me thinking about that. Some sort of communal writing event for November, right around the corner. There's very little time to organize, but I thought, why not? Why not put it in your mind, see what you think of it, see how many of you are interested in doing something, some kind of writing together. Then also on broader YouTube, there is a video that really annoyed me. I'm still thinking about it. It really annoyed me. It came an inch away from being a bro watch video, which I haven't done in a long time. It was a series of videos on this channel where I would take some BroTube channel, some Brotivational channel, and rip it to shreds for your entertainment. But the way in, the wedge that I used to make Brotivational, bro watch videos, was that they talked about books. I figured if they stray onto my patch, if they talk about books, then I'm free to vivisect them. If they're just blathering on about the self-help nonsense with their North Korean slave-made energy juice right there prominently placed on the table, then I don't have any grounds to go at them. But I still watch those videos. And they still infuriate me. Oh my God. The latest one it's on Chris Williamson's channel. This pint-sized little lunkhead, musclehead that never wears long pants and that talks with, has intimate talks where he has his legs one leg hooked over the other, and the guy next to him is in an easy chair next to him, and he's got his legs hooked up to another. But when the very rare guest is a woman, she's at the other end of a wooden table about 40 feet long, because otherwise she might fling sexual harassment allegations at him. Anyway, it's all the stuff that you would predict, and I don't know. This was on the War on Men. I'll leave a link to it in case you want to lose this time. I don't know why. Chris Williamson irritates me because once upon a time, if I'd caught him young, he would have been a friend of mine, and I would have stopped him from being this kind of a stupid, lying grifter. But Scott Galloway is something else again, because he spouts nonsensical garbage, but I cannot help but listen to him and think, you must know this is garbage. You don't have, the impression I get from you is not that you have the excuse of being too dumb to know that what you're saying is nonsense. I think he knows. There's an awareness impression that I get from him that I don't like, of course, at all, because of the nonsense that comes out of his mouth nonstop for this whole thing. So I watched it and it really irritated me, and I thought, well, there's no written rule that says that Bro Watch has to have that door open for just books, right? And no one can say that I'm punching down at Chris Williamson because he has an empire. He fills a stadium. When he does a video about what it's like to make, 100 videos, 200 videos, some piddling number like that, he talks, the B-roll of him looking off camera, of course, as though he were Mahatma Gandhi sitting down for an interview. The forced fake humility and the you already know my context, so I don't need to delve into it. He talks, as all YouTube influencers do, as if he was incredibly, intergalactically famous and everyone knew that. When no one knows who he is. He fills an auditorium with incels that he has been lying to for 2 years. But anyway, Scott Galloway strikes me as someone who ought to know better, and the whole conversation bugged me. It just bugged me. So watch it by all means. Don't listen to any of it, but let it pump your blood for a while. Get the old circulation going. But we don't have to end YouTube on a negative note. We can end on a positive note. Another channel like Gutsick Gibbon that I have praised and recommended to many, many times. Isaac Arthur is his name. He's a popular science YouTuber. He is fantastic. Just incredible. I've been watching his channel since it was tiny. All of his videos are really good. I love all of them. I drop what I'm doing to watch them. But he has a particular thing that I love. And I can't help but think that much like Gutsick Gibbons, much like Erica's creationist videos, I can't help but think that this theme on his channel is more popular than any other thing that he does. And that's the Fermi Paradox. For the whole length of his channel, he has not left the Fermi Paradox alone, and that is fascinating. He is one of the best people on YouTube on the Fermi Paradox. And the Fermi Paradox is essentially, if the universe is billions of years old, and there are billions and billions of star systems, and billions of planets in habitable zones, where are all the aliens? Even if you account for all of the incredible challenges, the filters, as it were, that civilizations can face before they reach technology, reproducible technology, outward bound, starfaring technology, even if you mountain those impediments one on top of the other to lower the odds, to increase the odds as much as possible, over billions of years and billions of star systems, you're still going to have at least thousands of alien civilizations, and some of them will have risen, flourished, and fallen a long time ago. But also plenty of them should be extant. And we see none of that. Nothing of it. Unless it's 3i Atlas. We see none of that. As far as we can tell, the entire universe, not just our local group, but the entire universe is empty of life, of technological life. Self-aware technological life. There could be scum or mollusks, the equivalent, on other planets, but not spacefaring. And the Fermi Paradox asks why. Why is that? And what might be the reasons why? And you can take any kind of stance that you want on it. You can say that the Fermi Paradox is way too stern and that the universe teems with life. Or you can take the position that I have, which is that the development of life is an unbelievable crapshoot. It's like winning 10 lotteries in a row, so that you should expect that it would be virtually non-existent. That still wouldn't explain why it is completely non-existent, because the universe has been around for a long time. But Isaac Arthur's latest video is on one element of the Fermi Paradox. What if there are no-go areas? And that maybe that explains something of why the universe seems dark in so many places. I'm not doing it justice. It's a wonderful video. Go and watch. Him and Gutsick Gibbon are well worth your time to acquaint yourself with if you don't know them. And then we can move on to BookTube. And unfortunately, this is going to annoy a lot of you. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to skip the category of BookTube because of one particular video that I saw that annoyed me, angered me, enraged me so much that if I were to open the door, it would be the only thing that I would talk about. Not only in the BookTube section of the video, but the whole of the video. I guess it is understandable. I won't go into detail. I'm not going to go into detail. We're going to pass on to me. But I guess it is understandable that the more BookTube goes on and the more new people it attracts, the more likely it is that some of those new people will come in and think, how can I gain clicks and subscribers the easiest? And will come to the conclusion the quickest way to do this is to start throwing bombs at BookTube. The quickest way I can get that, I don't want community. All I want is virality. And the quickest way I can get that is to start throwing bombs. Just make a video that is just a gigantic lie about this thing that I nominally want to join. I don't actually want to join it. I just want to use it to go viral. And if I destroy it in the process, fine, I don't care. I don't read anyway. I'll move on somewhere else because I want to go on to viral there. I suppose as BookTube goes on, this current iteration of BookTube is over 10 years old. And there's lots and lots of people involved, and lots of new people come every day. I suppose as that happens, it is predictable, it is understandable that such people would come to this platform and try that kind of crap. I suppose that's understandable, so I'm trying to be even-keeled about it, but there's one particular thing, is the only thing I'd talk about if I were to talk about it. So we're going to skip BookTube for today, very sorry, and we'll move on to me. And when we talk about Isaac Arthur and no-go areas of the galaxy, and maybe that explains why there are no aliens or where it seems like there's none, well, I have a parallel here at Hyde Cottage for the subject of me, and that is no-go bookcases. I have no-go bookcases. I am realizing this. Do you have them? Some bookcase or bookcase arrangement that you just can't make work. No matter how much you try, you just can't make it work. I have two of those. One of them will be well known to longtime viewers of this channel. There is a hutch on the wall here in the middle room. It's shelves recessed in. Obviously, it would be like for China or something like that. If this were a dining room, that's obviously what it was originally meant for, was to be a dumbwaiter door. between here and the kitchen so that you can take your dishes in without going around to the kitchen. When it was walled off and all that, all the amenities were taken out like that, then it became just a hutch. And when it was a hutch, for the 100 years that it was that, it would be that you would put china in there and whatnot, and that would be where you'd store it, and it would, I guess, look kind of nice. Maybe you would set some of the decorative plates up at intervals along on a stand. Obviously, I'm not going to use it for china. I have one metal plate. That's it. I don't have dishes, don't have bowls. I just have the one metal plate, my hobo plate. But I have been trying for years to get that hutch to work. And I can't. I just can't do it. No matter what, it ends up failing me. No matter what, I end up either avoiding it or so egregiously crowding it with random stuff that I then have to pull it all off and empty it again. That's one no-go bookcase. And then there's also another. I have shelves over the mantelpiece out here in this middle room, and they go all the way up to the ceiling. In other words, you need to climb up on furniture or get a footstool in order to use them. You can't just wander by and pluck things off them. You can't do that. Even with the lowest one, it's hard to do. But with the upper ones, they are well out of reach. And so they're a no-go bookcase, and I can't help but think the reason they're a no-go bookcase is because I have not resigned myself to the fact that those shelves just aren't for books. Same things with the hutch. When I see shelves, I think, oh, these are for books. So I have two of those. I have two no-go bookcases, and it's driving me crazy. So I just thought I would vent, because the me portion is me venting about some recent trial of mine. Right now, I am thinking that what I should do in the short term, there's only short term left. I only have a month and a half. So in the short term, what I'm thinking I should do is pull everything off those shelves. All the books. Pull them all off and just leave those shelves empty. And I'll reimagine them later. Just leave them. If they're empty for a long time, ideas will come to me that are being blocked by the fact that when I walk by, I see books on those shelves. I don't know. I might do that. That's my crisis. That's the me portion of this video. So I will wrap this up and hope that it uploads. It's pouring rain here, so it might not. But otherwise, I will see you later. Thank you, BookTube.